Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us today. I'm Kathy Cronin, and I would love to introduce you to my lovely panel, these ladies who have joined me to share their thoughts and being here in this time. So we have Karen Downey, Reverend Linda Burdett, and Dr. Kristine Pass. So my topic today is about when our tears feed the world. But before I go into the topic, I would like to take a moment for us to get centered, to be able to put the distractions around us behind and just call in the spirit and call in the energy of the divine. So if closing your eyes helps, and then just focus on your breathing. Just take a few slow breaths in and just exhale, relaxing the tension in your body. And do that a few times so that you can feel that rhythm of calm, that you can be present in this moment and in this time. And we call upon Spirit. We ask you to be with us in guidance and in wisdom. We open our hearts to the things that are here to be ours, to find that spiritual connection with each other, and to be open to how we show up in the world. We're grateful for the blessings that you have given us, for abundance that you bring into our life through our friends and through our loved ones. And we ask you to answer the prayers of those who call out to you, that you bring comfort to those who are suffering. And we say this with grateful hearts that we are glad that we can be here together today. Amen. So my topic is from Unity Publication, Spirituality and Health. It's the March and April issue. And this article was written by Kelly Isola. She's a teacher, she's a Unity minister, and she's co-authored a book called Who Have You Come Here to Be? And I want to share this parts of this article that she wrote, but I'm going to start with the story she told. And so this is the thing. She says she likes to, I get to see life through the obscure nature TV shows. I discover the unseen in extraordinary ways life always manages to care for itself and every other creature. Well, so on the latest show I'm watching, I'm welcome into a hidden corner of the Amazon rainforest. Here, there are moments when the air sparkles with wings, bright clusters of butterflies landing gently on the faces of turtles. They're not attacking, they're drinking. Like most every other creature, the butterflies need salt to survive, and the only source in their veiled world comes from tears of the turtles. So they gather around the eyes of those quiet, patient reptiles, sipping their tears as though it were the nectar of flowers. The turtles offer the world what their bodies naturally release, and those tears feed another's life. The butterflies get what they need. The turtles are unharmed. Life finds a way, a natural care for itself through another. There's an agonizing ache these days that brings tumors of grief, sorrow, and desolation. She goes, I may have seen weakness as proof that I'd fallen apart again. Well, what if in those moments I am actually feeding the world? What if my tears are carrying salt, truth, tenderness, release? That moment that someone else needs but didn't know how to ask for. I never heard the butterflies ask. She shares about how she sat with friends in grief circles and retreats where one person cries openly, and that opens the door for everyone else. One one tear gave permission for a river. There's always someone who says, I didn't know I needed to cry until you did. That's how the healing begins, through overflow. Tears are one of the body's sacred languages, that subtle voice of the angels, the mystery, the caring. The body remembers what the mind cannot or won't, and tears say what words cannot while they cleanse and soften us. When I find myself crying, I imagine I'm part of that rainforest, the quiet turtle and the glistening butterfly that is somewhere nearby and will find nourishment from my release. Sorrow becomes sweetness, and love learns to drink deeply from the tender places that makes me gloriously human. So I thought this was a very interesting thing to realize. I can remember back at a point in time, I did some insight seminars in the late 80s. And one of the things is that when people in the group would be sharing, tears would start to flow. And I remember the facilitator saying, that is your soul crying out. That is your release. Don't wipe away those tears, just let them flow. It is the cleansing of your soul. So, at a point in time when you feel those tears just overwhelming and wanting to flow, it's your soul wanting to cleanse. It's being open. But the other aspect is being open to cry in front of others allows that vulnerability to be there because that may also open a path for them. And you may be able to feed their soul to do some cleansing. Um, and it's something that never realized until I heard that story about the turtle's tears fed the butterflies, that your tears are feeding, you're cleansing your soul and you're feeding your heart. You're opening that up into a thing. So when you sit and cry for others, you're also bringing a healing to the consciousness around you. So I want to open this to my panel to share about when the tears feed the world, how they see this and what their aspect of this is. So who would like to share their thoughts first?
Kathy, this topic is so intense because I can remember the first time that I got in trouble for crying. I was 5. I had gone down the slide at the playground. I got hurt, and like any normal kid, tears were there. And I can remember being told to stop because, big girls don't cry. And as I got a little bit older, I was informed that I was melodramatic. And I will tell you, I had high highs and I had low lows, and there wasn't a whole lot in between. My mom says that she can remember I would start at the top of the stairway, smiling and happy. And by the time I got to the bottom, I would be bawling. And that wasn't made up. It was, I was a very emotional child. And at some point in my teenage years, my mom started watching the Bakers on TV. And I can remember seeing Tammy Faye Baker cry every single week, week after week after week. And there was never a single solitary thing said about her doing all of that crying. And I don't know if it was because it was associated with her faith or what, but my family didn't have any problem with that. So as an adult, what came to me was that this this idea that tears can be weakness or are weakness is so erroneous. It takes so much strength for us to be that vulnerable. So now I cry when they emerge, and I don't feel bad about it. I really love this idea that those tears can help heal the world. So thank you, Kathy.
Thank you, Dr. Pass. So Karen, would you like to share?
Thank you, Kathy, and thank you, Dr. Pass. Um, I was thinking most of my tears in younger years were a lot of times in like, I don't know, getting sympathy or something. Um, but over the years, the cleansing aspect has been shared at different things that I've gone to. And it's like when the real tears come, they just come. It isn't something that I create in my mind, um, and then have the reaction of the tears. Um, the last few years, tears are really prompted by a movie, usually, that I'm watching. And then before I know it, I'm crying. And then something from the past will get triggered with an event. It's kind of like, the body and the soul, it's all stored within us somewhere. And a lot of times I'll watch, I can't remember, it might be America's Got Talent, or I don't know, one of those where, the entertainer comes on and the panel judges them. And I find myself really crying with seeing how vulnerable they are standing up with all in front of all of those people performing, and the joy that it brings to others. Just it invokes just a an acknowledgement in the talent that people, maybe don't show until all of a sudden here they are doing this, and they're bringing their self forward. And then when they get the applause, the tears just flow because there's been so much anxiety in being their authentic self. And once they're being authentic, it just flows. And I mean, that it, I don't know why I cry, but it's like all the tears are good. And sometimes I just say, well, that's just for the tears that I didn't cry at the time that I held back something. So eventually they do come out. Anyway, that's kind of way off the beaten track, but I do find.
Reverend Linda.
I can definitely share. I'm a crier, and there's really no point in trying not to cry because you can hear it in my voice. I may not be crying the tears, but the emotion shows up in my voice. And I wanted to kind of go on a journey with Karen down another path. For me, it's honoring children. I even like we went to a preschool graduation for my great granddaughter, and I cried. It's like, are you kidding me? But tears running down my face. And anytime people get together and honor children for just about any reason whatsoever, I burst into tears. And I'm sure that's something deep seated, but I can't change it. When I got clean and sober, um, it's probably in the second year, I started crying at everything. And I thought it was kind of a joke. They'd go, cue the crier, and I'd burst into tears. Commercials, I'd cry. Movies, TVs, conversations, memories, just tears, tears, tears. And one of my mentors at the time told me that being clean and sober, I had opened up to emotions I hadn't felt before or allowed myself to feel, and that I would fill up and overflow. And that's what the tears were. And that explanation, for whatever reason, just gave me permission. I don't apologize. I don't hide it. I'm here. I feel. I cry. And the idea that that might be healing for someone is a lovely idea, even if it's only healing for me. But I'd like to think tears can heal the world. Thank you for this topic.
Well, thank you, Reverend Linda, and I want to thank my panel for their sharing. One of the things that as I heard them share is I thought of a friend who is, comes to tears so easily. And I've sort of sat in judgment about it. And then I finally, in reading this article, came to realize is that, her soul, I don't know what hurts were given to her as a child growing up or what she's been through. And so now I have compassion over the fact that her soul has a lot of healing that it's going through, and those tears are coming out to things that what she wrote in this article, Reverend Isola, is the body remembers what the mind can't or won't, and tears say what words cannot while they cleanse and soften us. And I think part of what Reverend Linda shared is that when those tears were coming, those were pains and injuries from the past that seems to have forgotten, and now the body is like cleansing through those. The biggest thing that comes to mind when I think about this is that a lifetime experience that I remember that molded a part of my life in regards to tears was when President Kennedy was assassinated. And I remember coming home just crying and bawling and, throwing myself on the bed and just sobbing over this thing. And then I spent the 2 days that went on following the funeral and saw Jackie Kennedy be very stoic and very, solid. And I thought, okay, she's going through this and not shedding any tears. I can be strong. And I willed myself from that point in time is not to allow myself to show any weakness and not to show this and, to hold back the tears and to be very, in a sense, it hardened me. And it was years later that in watching a documentary is like I came as an adult came to realize that, she was pretty much put on tranquilizers to get her through this trauma and things like that. So I wasn't seeing what was happening behind the scene. I wasn't seeing that. I was seeing this out front. And so there was this aspect that I molded part of my personality based on something like this and just basically made myself, to be unfeeling. And but it now that I've gotten older, I can be that fact of just being open and allowing my feelings to come out and show and have compassion when somebody else is crying, that there is those tears are their soul speaking forth, is doing some healing, and be with them. And I have to agree, it's watching children. I get all teary-eyed when I'm seeing children being honored and things and those recognition and those things or animals and pets. But there's just knowing that our tears bring healing into the world. So if you cry along with somebody, you're also bringing healing for them too. So I want to welcome my panel back and ask if anybody else has any more that they want to share about their thoughts and feelings about tears, that, we can all go find a good movie and have a good cry. But it just remember that we're here to feed the world, and if that part of that is crying with another, it's bringing nourishment to everyone. So thank you, everyone. And I want to thank those who joined us today. We appreciate you being here. It means so much that you've taken time out of your day to listen to us. We hope that our topic maybe helped you find some compassion and some feelings for yourself, some healing for yourself. And if you want to join our panel, please let us know. You can reach out to Unity Church of El Cajon that sponsors this program, and they will reach out to our organizer to get you connections. And if you liked our topic, please like it If you're not a subscriber, we really would like you to be part of this and to get our regular tapings and notification and just anything that you have, we're open to hearing from our viewers. So thank you so much, and you have a blessed day, and may your hearts be filled.
Thank you for joining us, and let's stay connected and grow in spirit. We are on Facebook. Search for Unity Church of El Cajon and follow us and like our posts. You can reach us on YouTube at Unity Church of El Cajon. Please subscribe to our channel, watch our videos, and leave comments which can help us improve. We are on the web at unityofelcajon.org. Email or call our church office to receive our weekly newsletters, which lists all of our activities and opportunities to learn and grow together.